Day 2 begins with New Zealand still in need of another partnership. Colin de Grandhomme out in the middle with Tim Southee. At the moment, they're 8 down for 315. They would have loved to put on an extra little bit more yesterday, but it's going to be Mitchell Starc to try and clean up the tail this morning for Australia. Of course, Tim Southee out there as well with Colin de Grandhomme, who's just made his half century last night. Of course, New Zealand trying to put themselves in a very strong position here, winning the toss and electing to bat first. Very positive choice to do that, obviously early stages of the game, especially on a quick whacker pitch and on a day-nighter, which can cause some problems under lights. So we'll wait and see how long this New Zealand side survive this morning before the Australians get in and bat a little bit later on today. I'm sure, you never know. New Zealand could bat out the entire day. They're 8 down though, so I feel like that's a little bit far-fetched. Oh, that's close from Hazelwood. Looking to pick up a 5th wicket for him throughout the innings. Being the pick of the Australian bowlers in the opening innings, of course, taking 4 wickets yesterday. Marnus Labuschagne taking 3 with Nathan Lyon getting 1, and Nathan Lyon into the attack pretty early this morning, hoping that he can get rid of Colin de Grandhomme. And Mitchell Starc steaming around the wicket, also trying to get that desperately last wicket for Australia. As New Zealand have already piled on 30 runs this morning. Oh, that's a big shout. Given not out for Tim Southee. Australia in the 100th over here, 99.2 overs gone. There's an outside edge. Is it taken? Yes, it is. A good catch too, to dismiss Tim Southee, and Mitchell Starc gets his first wicket for the innings. Didn't really need to play at that one, just a good catch as well from Travis Head. Took a ripping catch on the opening day as well, this time diving to his right hand side with the one hand out there, and Tim Southee goes for 10. New Zealand 9 down for 345 after they started at 315. Couple balls remaining in this over. Can Trent Boult survive the Mitchell Starc onslaught? It's obviously a challenge for the Tailenders to survive him going round the wicket, and there it is. The 10th wicket. Starc cleans up the tail as he does so often, getting rid of Boult round the wicket, angling it into the right-hander, and that off stump never stood a chance really. So the end of the New Zealand innings, they piled on a further 30 runs, as we said this morning, before Mitchell Starc dismissed Tim Southee and Trent Boult within 3 deliveries. Right before the 100th over was completed as well, 99.5 overs. Colin de Grandhomme there, 75 not out, was New Zealand's top scorer for the innings. He'll be disappointed that no one could stick around with him at the end. But now it's time for the Aussies to come out to the middle, and this is now a big innings in this match. Obviously, Australia, they'll have to bat for quite a long period of time to get this lead raked in. It's 345, which isn't anything to scoff at, but it is quite a large lead, and on a wicket that is pretty quick and can be very good with extra bounce and stuff for the bowlers and make it tough for the batsmen. The Australians will need to do as best they can to survive. At least the top order to survive. That one, a top edge for 6 for Joe Burns. Now I wonder, because obviously I'm looking at that sight screen and I'm seeing there's no actual sight screen. It's just all in the distance. And there's like a bar down there. I don't know if you've ever been to Perth Stadium or you've ever seen it, but that is a bar down there. He's almost hit that into the bar down at that end of the ground. Another thing Australia have done well this morning is they've left quite well, these two. They've started reasonably well, none for 15 after 6 overs. Colin de Grandhomme now into the attack. Short ball, Warner pulls that down, gets it fine. That should be a boundary as well, and it is. So, Australia will be looking to pile on a good start. Of course, New Zealand didn't have a good start in their innings. They were already 1 down before putting a run on the board. And Australia right now, Warner and Burns, it is the premium partnership. We've seen them time and time again, released throughout the start of this summer, put on some good partnerships in of course, the real world and in the video games. I've put on a couple of 50-run partnerships with Warner and Burns in the series we did against Pakistan. So right now, none for 36. Looks like they're on track to hopefully do that again. Warner, again, playing the short ball well today. It's been something he's done reasonably well. And that is a quality drive through the offside. Long boundary down there at the cover region. And it is 4. Another good leave there for the Australians. So 16 overs gone. That's going to be the end of our first session today. That'll take us to the tea break. Australia none for 47 at tea. Warner 32 from 61. Joe Burns going a little bit slower than that. 12 from 35 as New Zealand bring in some spin to start us off here in this second session of the day. This is our twilight session, of course. Mitchell Santner going to be bowling. Good to see New Zealand get some spin into the action. Obviously, you don't want to rely too much on the quicks. And Australia took 4 wickets with the spinners as well in that opening innings. Labuschagne taking 3 and Lyon taking 1, but he was very dangerous. Nathan Lyon probably bowled a lot without reward as we see the 50 partnership bring up there. That's off the glove and put down. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, Joe Burns has gone to leave this and it's come straight off the face of the glove. And that is a missed chance. And now we're top edge, so Burns with a couple of lives that he's maybe burnt there. But he survives. So Australia continuing to put on this opening partnership. David Warner powering on. Moves up to 38 here. Oh, and that one powerfully struck. Square on the leg side and 4. And again, this time through mid-wicket, just driving. So they've really attacked the bad balls today, Australia. That one not too bad of a delivery from Santner, but that one now wide and a half volley, and Warner brings up 50. Inside 79 deliveries, 7 fours throughout his half century, but that was a cracking cover drive there. We can see him start to play a little bit more confidently, a little bit more aggressively. And now Joe Burns getting in on the act with a pull shot down to the mid-wicket boundary for 4 as well. So where are the answers coming for New Zealand? Where are they coming from, sorry? For New Zealand, of course. Team Southey steaming in, trying desperately to create a wicket for this team. So there's a good bit of fielding, but they scurry through for 1. Round the wicket to Warner now, which we saw so effective against him in the Ashes. And this time they get him. Tim Southey gets the breakthrough for New Zealand. David Warner goes, and we won't see a review here, of course, but it's just been the way that England got him out. Stuart Broad, especially over the summer, round the wicket to Warner. Surprised we didn't see it earlier in the innings, but Tim Southey gets that opening breakthrough for New Zealand. Australia 1 for 79. Warner gone for 52. Marnus Labuschagne, another in-form batsman, coming to the crease. A couple of 150s in a row for him at the Gabba and at the Adelaide Oval. So what does he have? And another day-nighter. Gee, the leading edge, and there's been a few close calls for him already, and he's finally off the mark. Or is he? It's a close run. They get through for a single. So Labuschagne and Burns going to look to build another partnership here. Joe Burns been at the crease, 81 deliveries now. That's a good boundary, and he's really put his best foot forward. That time driving through the offside, and a good catch taken by the second slip-up. So this time it's Bolt with the angle across the right-hander. Just hits it high on the bat, and a good catch taken there in the slips. As the Kiwis pick up wicket number 2, and they get rid of both of the Australian openers within a reasonably quick time frame. Joe Burns goes for 33. Australia 2 for 90. Steve Smith now out in the middle. Good drive there from Labuschagne down the ground. We know the straight boundaries are the short boundaries. This one not quite going to reach there. Just going to drop a fraction short. And just slow up in the outfield, which has been pretty slow today. Haven't seen, or even yesterday. The weather's pretty good, so it does surprise us a little bit how poor the outfield has been, sort of in the far distances. It's been reasonably quiet as Steve Smith gets himself off the mark, and 100 up for Australia. Just the 2 wickets down, trailing by a further 245 runs. Steve Smith, of course, yet to get 100 in this summer for Australia, as didn't really have too much of an opportunity, I suppose, against against Pakistan in both Test matches. Australia only batted once in both matches, and he pretty much came in at 2 down for 300 or 400. So it's been not a great showing for him throughout this Australian summer so far, but I have a feeling this series against New Zealand, we're really going to see a different Steve Smith peak his way up and really get back into the form that he had throughout that Ashes series, where he scored over 700 runs, and he scored at least 200 more than the next best player in that series. So he was a very, very good player. And it was 700 runs within 4 matches too, so it wasn't anything to scoff at. Labuschagne pulls that away for 4 more. They've played the short ball well today, Australia. That's what you need to do, especially on Australian pitches, especially here in Perth. Generally, the Wacker pitch has that extra bounce. We've seen it here today at the Perth Stadium as well. Same sort of curators, I believe, same ground staff as that Wacker pitch. Allows us to really get that similar sort of feel in terms of the vibe of how the pitch plays, and the same environment you expect from a Perth Test. As I think these two are pretty close to bringing up a 50 partnership, if they haven't already. I think they were 2 for 100 at one stage, so now they're 2 for 150. Lead now underneath 200 as well. Labuschagne playing quite nicely. Oh, that's good from Smith. He's taken this ball from outside the off stump, and he's found it all the way through mid-wicket. It's quite extraordinary. It just goes to show you how far across he is playing, sort of on that leg stump guard as the lights come on here in Perth. And we've seen it more and more common lately as well, is sides, or players especially, using that sort of a leg stump guard, or off stump guard. Steve Smith blocks this one out, and that'll be the end of the twilight session here in Perth. So Australia come from the ground pretty comfortable, I think, with their position. 2 down, 460. And all 4 players at the crease have had starts. So Warner made a 52. Burns, made a 33. Labuschagne at the moment on 33, with Steve Smith on 34 as well. And for the New Zealand bowlers, Trent Boult and Tim Southee are the wicket takers so far. So a big evening session coming up. New Zealand will probably want to take 4 or 5 wickets in this session. That's generally what you want to do with the pink ball. Here's Neil Wagner bowling round the wicket to start off this session, as Labuschagne forward defence keeps that one out. And Colin de Grandhomme, the other one, bowling after the dinner break here in Perth. I wonder if it's almost like you need to take it like it's a new ball period here. Labuschagne getting ready as we look at our flying fox camera there. What are we calling that one? We'll call it the flying fox camera. Why not? As he pulls this one away for 4. You see he's well prepared for that one. If you're wondering how to get that camera, you just hold down the 2 triggers when you're batting before the ball is bowled. As Labuschagne this time squeaks it through the offside, and now we've seen the outfield quicken up throughout the evening as that races away and just ticks over the boundary line. 404. He's up to 47. And he's looking in real good touch, as we've seen him go throughout this summer. This time pulled through mid-wicket. They'll pick up 2. And Labuschagne will pick up a half century. So a really good knock for him so far. It's come from 97 deliveries. Very patient with the way he's gone about things. And Australia would love for him to still be at the crease at the end of this night's session. Same goes for Stephen Smith. They would love this pair. If they see out this tricky period under lights, then Australia really would be in the box seat to take a lead into the second innings. And Smith picks up a couple more here for Australia. Oh, is there any bat involved there? I know it's gone past the keeper. I'm going to pick up 2. Maybe 4. It is 4. Let's see what the umpire signals here. No, leg buys, so no bat involved, but still runs for Australia. 4 leg byes, and that is the 100-run partnership up between Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne. And while Smith started quite aggressively, he was going at a strike rate of about 90 odd at the beginning of his innings as the 200 comes up for Australia. He's now brought it all the way down to about 50, or just about 60 odd strike rate. Been pretty quiet for a little bit of period of time and just been a little bit more patient, especially throughout this evening innings. Is this one going to get to the rope? It does. And that's 50 for Stephen Smith as well. Just the 4 boundaries throughout that 50. And this time he's out. So an edge through to the keeper. It's Wagner who gets the breakthrough. Just kept putting him wider and wider. And eventually Smith trying to drive through that offside. Gets a little tickle through to the keeper. So it's Australia 3 now for 212. Matthew Wade making... Wade? Yes. Matthew Wade making his way to the middle. A little inside edge there from Smith. You can clearly see it on the hotspot as well. Just so we can make sure. Because there was not really a massive noise. Not a massive noise, but we thought we'd check the hotspot to find out. And there was certainly bat involved. As there might be bat involved in this from Wade. And they're pretty confident about the Kiwis. And it's given. So another wicket for Wagner. This time off a sort of reasonably short ball. Wade trying to pull it away. Gets a little top edge onto his forearm that then goes in the air. And the keeper is able to get underneath it and take the catch. So a couple of wickets for New Zealand in quick time. See them with a bit more confidence in this evening session here. They'd love a couple more as they can really look to press this Australian lineup and force them to really defend here. We'll probably only see a further 6 more overs today. We're scheduled to see Australia's innings go to the 80th over. Whether we get that many overs in is a bit unclear as Labuschagne once again gets this to the boundary. Travis Head at the other end, of course, coming in at number 6. Now that Matthew Wade has moved up the order to number 5. And good opportunity for Travis Head to press his claims to remain in this test side. Oh, swinging wildly at that one. And we do have confirmation that this is the final delivery of the day's play. Trent Bolt to Travis Head, so we're going to lose some overs again. And he's driving at that one, which he really should be leaving. But that'll be the end of day 2. Australia 4 down. Lost a couple of late wickets of Steve Smith and Matthew Wade. Neil Wagner getting those. Both caught behind to the keeper, BJ Watling there. And all 4 of Australia's dismissals have been edges. So a little bit of a difference between their innings and the New Zealand innings. Marnus Labuschagne top scoring with 78. Still at the crease, of course, with Travis Head as Australia finish off the day 4 for 238. In terms of the overall lead of the game, they trail by 107 runs. But let's take a look at the New Zealand bowling as well. Surprised we only saw the 13 overs from Mitchell Santner, given how well Australia's spinners did bowl on day 1 there. Colin de Grant home just the 9 overs. And the 3 main quicks with plenty of overs between them. And at least a wicket each. So they did too well there. Well, they did reasonably well there. But here we go. Stumps on day 2. New Zealand were all out for 345 fairly early on in the day's play. Australia in reply 4 for 238, trailing by a further 107 runs. Marnus Labuschagne 78 not out, still at the crease. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on day 3.